Hey friends! So much of Disney is fun and full of joy, but not all of it. The Haunted Mansion is a wonderful mix of amusing and scary. Let's go on this adventure together and learn more about the Haunted Mansion, or as Walt once called it, the Museum of the Weird. The idea for the Haunted Mansion attraction was thought up before Disneyland, where it first appeared, was even built. The attraction concept was created around the time when Walt Disney hired his first Imagineers. The original plan, thought up by Harper Goff, was a rundown manor up on a hill with a church and graveyard in front. That did not appear in the opening of Disneyland, and Ken Anderson took Goff's ideas and redesigned them. Together, a team of Imagineers created the daunting mansion that you see today, as well as the ghostly stories inside. But when it first appeared, it was kind of more of a disappointment. With the hype of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride just before, and then the dated stories that Anderson had come up with, the attraction was kind of a letdown. But that didn't last for long. Eventually, the Haunted Mansion became a crowd favorite after being worked on by several Imagineers listed here, and it's now one of the most popular rides. Walt Disney knew he wanted something with a haunted feel somewhere in the park when he first dreamed up Disney World. Even though it took some time to finish, I would argue that the Haunted Mansion had a home in Magic Kingdom before it was even created. The Haunted Mansion serves as one of the visually scariest attractions in Disney World. Feel like visiting now? If you wanted to find the Haunted Mansion, here's how. As you enter the park and walk down Main Street, USA, find your way towards Liberty Square. You can get there by walking across the bridge on the top left entrance of the castle. Keep right and walk up the main street in Liberty Square, and you'll run into the Haunted Mansion on your left across from Memento Mori. You can see it circled here on the map. It can get pretty busy during the day, so guests have said the best time to visit sometime before 11:30 or after 8 p.m. The Haunted Mansion in Disney World has undergone a lot of changes since its opening in 1971. In 2007, it underwent an entire refurbishment. Some of the changes included a new audio system for the Ghost Host, new wallpaper, new lighting and sound effects, new sets, and even different phrases from the ghostly characters. A hand that points to the left was added to the back of the Doom Buggies in 2010, and changes to the graveyard scene in the queue area also began that year. These changes were revealed in March 2011, and they included a sea captain's grave that spits water, a pipe organ, a library of moving books, and a book that writes itself, which I think is pretty awesome. Changes to the hitchhiking ghosts were made in April of that same year as well. And then they also added some audio, the mirror effects, and new technology that allows all three hitchhiking ghosts to be heard. Since COVID, they have had to change a few things about the attraction too. Of course, that includes social distancing and longer wait times so they can clean the Doom Buggies, but one of the legendary parts of the entrance has changed too. There's no more stretch room. Since guests had to group together to get into the dead center of the room for stretch room, they had to change it so the guests are ushered straight through. It's kind of sad, but it makes sense to do in order to keep the park operational. As you walk into the ride, you enter what they call the queuing area. In this area, you walk past the graveyard until you get to the mansion entrance. You are then led into a foyer where a creepy portrait of the master of the house turns into a rotting corpse. Then you are ushered into a room where staff will encourage you to squeeze into the dead center, which we now know has changed due to COVID. The wall behind you slides closed, and the ghost host taunts you, saying a few eerie words as the walls in the room start to stretch, revealing morbid images of the previously normal portraits on the walls. The lights go out, lightning and thunder effects begin, and the ghost host is shown hanging from a noose high above you. From that room, you are guided to the Doom Buggies, appropriately named if you ask me. And then you ride through the dark mansion through various scenes. I won't describe every scene because I want you to go and see it all for yourself one day. A lot of guests enjoy this ride because they can get a break from the hot sun and enjoy some air conditioning. It's crazy the design used to create the effects in the movie. I wish I could explain it all to you, but one, I don't have the time, and two, it is far beyond my knowledge. These Imagineers are impressive. I haven't had the chance to see the Haunted Mansion for myself, though it is high on my list of to-dos. But from all my research, I've noticed that this attraction is kind of creepy. Yes, that was the goal, and it is fitting with the name, but it might be too scary for some audiences. We've learned in our reading that Disney World was tailored around the whole family visiting. That includes kids and adults. So I think it would be super cool to have a kid-friendly version of the Haunted Mansion built next door. Even though young kids have many other attraction options, kids also don't want to be left out from what adults are doing. If there was a Haunted Mansion for younger kids that had more fun and playful ghost scenes, and maybe a little less darkness, the kids would still feel like they got to experience the Haunted Mansion. It would take a team of creative Imagineers and a bit of money, but it's for the family. Isn't that what Disney's all about anyway? I hope you learn a lot and get to visit the Haunted Mansion someday really soon.